Hello, my name is Emma and I'm a hot mess. I have toothpaste in my hair. I still have eyeshadow on from last night, but you can't tell thanks to my crappy camera. I also curled my hair last night. I also burned my skin right here, but you can't tell thanks to this crappy camera work. I slept in the curls and I think they look halfway decent. They're in my face a lot. Get out of here. Ugh. Okay, so this is a Harry Potter theory. And, fair warning, this theory involves PTSD, depression, suicidal thoughts, and such, because it's just evidence that I need for this theory. And if that bothers you at all, or if you have any sort of past occurrences with these symptoms or disabilities, and if you think this is going to affect you in a negative way, please go and watch something that will not make you upset. Okay, so this theory is also spoiler warning for people who want to read the Harry Potter books. The movies aren't canon. And this is a theory for mainly the books. Though if you've only watched the movies, I guess things would kind of make sense. Just a little bit. And, so, I personally have had PTSD in the past, so I know what I'm talking about. So, in this theory, of course, I'm saying that after Harry saw Cedric die, he was suffering through PTSD. So let's say just let out the symptoms of PTSD. So, the symptoms are aggression. You're very aggressive when you have PTSD. You, tend to be very rude to people who are trying to help you, because it brings up the trauma, which you don't want to deal with. You just want to forget about it. And this is more common for smaller children. This is blocking out the memories and forgetting, unintentionally, subconsciously forgetting that it ever happened. And I personally didn't go through this since I was a bit older when I had PTSD. And, unwanted memories and, flashbacks. A few people are, confused about what flashbacks are. Basically, it's like your memory is playing a traumatic event in your head, or something related to a traumatic event. And, you don't really want to think about it, but you can't help but think about it. The whole event is just playing through your head, and it makes you very upset. And dreams about the traumatic event that are very common also. Another thing is throwing temper tantrums like a child. And because PTSD sort of digresses your maturity. It makes you act like a small child when you're upset. I personally did this quite a bit. A lot, actually. I'm sorry, Mom. But, PTSD can also lead to depression, and depression can lead to suicidal thoughts, which will come back later. So, let's see if this is related to Harry Potter. It is. Occasion number 1. In the beginning of the book, it is stated that Harry is having dreams about the night that Cedric died. And he's like, he's yelling, Cedric, no, in his sleep. Which causes Dudley to make the whole, who's Cedric, her boyfriend line, which I hate. And, it's a very PTSD-esque. The second thing is aggression. And Harry is very aggressive in the 5th book. He's very rude and upset a lot. And, I've heard a lot of people joke that this is like, oh, this is when his hormones are out of whack, but I feel like this makes a lot more sense with PTSD, especially since it occurs right after he sees Cedric die, and with all the dreams about Cedric dying in that night, which can also count as flashback, since he's seeing the event play again, even if it is in his dreams. And being rude to people who are trying to help. I believe they left this out of the movies. Again, I've not seen the movies in quite a while. And, excuse me, I've been having coughing problems lately, so if I'm, clearing my throat in this video a lot, that's why. I'm sorry. And, this is when Ginny is trying to talk to Harry about, what's, being possessed. Because with all the dream thing and him seeing himself as with the point of view of Nagini and Voldemort in his dreams, Harry. Ginny is trying to talk to him, and in the beginning, Harry doesn't really want to talk to her. He's being kind of rude, and thankfully Ginny is not taking that crap, because she's a totally different person in the movies than she was in the books. And, let me think. That was my mom. I don't know if you heard that, but I certainly did. And this leads to the end of the book. This is where the suicidal and depression thing comes up. So, this is after, spoiler warning, Sirius dies. And, this is when Harry is is in Dumbledore's office. And Harry is just mad. He is yelling. He is breaking things. He's breaking Dumbledore's everything in his office. And the fact that Dumbledore is so calm in this scene, it makes Harry even madder, and he's on the verge of hurting him. And Dumbledore even recognizes this because he's like a master in legilimens and occlumency. So he's reading Harry's mind, and he sees that Harry wants to hurt him. I'm putting on shoes right now, if you're wondering what I'm doing. And Harry is saying very hard to swallow things. He's saying things such as, he's seen enough, he's had enough, he doesn't want this anymore, he just wants everything to go away. And this is pretty much an exact quote. Dumbledore says that this pain and this hurt is part of being human. It's part of being alive. It's part of meaning that he's still a man. And Harry, when he hears this, he says, if this is what being human is like, I don't want to be human anymore. Which is something very heavy. And it relates very much to depression and suicidal thoughts, which can come from PTSD. And so, I kind of needed a trigger warning for myself. So, back to PTSD. The whole thing where Harry's destroying Dumbledore's office and he keeps getting madder, and when he's saying all that stuff, he's yelling. He's yelling it at the top of his lungs. He's screaming. And he's just breaking almost everything in Dumbledore's office. That is very reminiscent of the whole temper tantrum, like a child thing. And he is very upset in this scene. Eventually he does calm down a little bit, but he's still on edge throughout this whole chapter, this whole part where he's talking to Dumbledore. And in the next book, Half-Blood Prince, I believe Harry is mostly recovering, but still some parts of PTSD are still seeping in. I can't name any part because I can't name any one part, but the whole book, he just seems a little less calm than, say, in the first 3 books. And in the final book, Deathly Hallows, this is back to the depression part. Not as far and sad and depressing, how ironic, as the scene where Harry's talking about pretty much wanting to die. Harry is, he sees Ron and Hermione with their hands right next to each other when they're asleep, which looks like they were holding hands when they fall asleep, which is very cute. And I don't know if they put this in the movies or not, and if they left it out, how dare you? And Harry it says that he feels very lonely after seeing this. Of course, Ron and Hermione are his best friends, and he cares deeply about them, but it still doesn't mean that it won't sadden him that he is alone, pretty much. Ron and Hermione are together with their significant other, but Harry's not. He broke up with Ginny for her protection, and that's why he's alone. He is alone, even if he is surrounded by other people, which this is a misconception that some people have. People who feel lonely could be in a crowded room. Feeling lonely is not about being alone. Feeling lonely doesn't mean that you are alone. It means that you feel alone. It means that you feel like no one's there with you. So you could go to a party with 100 people but still feel lonely if you don't know anyone at the party. And that's just a little side thing I wanted to say. And so that's my theory. Let me know what you think. And I just want to say this to a YouTuber I watched, which he does not have enough subscribers. He does quite a bit of Harry Potter videos, and his name is Nicholas Black. He does not have nearly enough subscribers. He has amazing comedic timing. And so I don't know how to do links, but just search into YouTube search Nicholas Black. It's Nicholas like Nick with just a C, Holas Black, like serious black, kind of black, like the color black. And so yeah, that's my theory. Check out Nicholas Black. Fair warning, he curses a bit. But yeah. And everyone, have a nice day. Bye.